I'm working on a project to predict bus rapid transit ridership in new markets. It's a concept that's gaining more popularity, but there are still doubts on whether it actually effectively replaces LRT or other forms of transit. Anyway, that's not really the point. The point is this project involves training a model, deploying it, and building out a front end so you can actually interact with it. And I haven't done too many of these projects before, so I'll show you how I use ChatGPT to get me started with the directory structure and some of the boilerplate code. So instead of going through a bunch of YouTube tutorials and other blog posts, I just asked it to give me an example directory structure for a Python project. It's the language I'm most comfortable with for this kind of data work. And you can see it's a pretty good start. And what I love about it is that you can ask follow-up questions. Like here I asked, how do I actually use this directory? Because you can find that directory structure in a blog post perhaps, but if you have a specific question, like what this flow actually looks like, then ChatGPT can answer that for you. And it's cool because you essentially get a personalized tutorial or even a coach. Like here I ask where the model training actually occurs, whether it's in the notebook or in the .py file, and it gives me a pretty good explanation in that it is the py file. And I love the ability to ask dumb questions and clarify the tiniest bit of doubt. Like here I make sure to clarify where I can actually use this model. Do I have to use it in the notebook or can I load it somewhere else? And the answer might seem obvious, but if you're new, if you haven't done this in a while, then why not just ask? So jumping back to that file structure it gave me, I asked it to clarify how I actually use the source directory. It gives me an explanation and an updated, bit more detailed chunk of code for how to lay out that directory. And here you can see it explains the different files, how I make the data set, process the data, train the model. And here, I find this really helpful because it gives me the workflow for how I should set this up in a shell script or something like that. So it can answer the very specific questions that I have, and that's something that a YouTube tutorial or a blog post just can't do. Then I went a step further and asked it to actually give me some of the boilerplate code for these scripts that it's suggesting I write. And we'll definitely need a lot of tweaking here, but it's a good start. And at the very least, it lets me prod on further if I wanted to ask follow-up questions for how about this variable? What if I wanted to split it this way? And you can see it's a good start. I think the coolest thing is I did this at around 1 a.m. It took me maybe 20 minutes to get me to a state where I think I could actually get started on this project, where in the past it would have probably taken me a day for me to get up to speed. I did stats in school, but we don't get a lot of practical project work. So this kind of setting up directories, designing workflows, it would have taken me a bit of time to research that myself. And so this just makes you go way quicker, and hopefully it helps you too. Thanks for watching.